You're listening to The Granite Discourse, a New Hampshire-based podcast with real discussions. Be sure to subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. And for early access, subscribe to Patreon for just $1 a month. Thank you, and enjoy the show. Sam Farrington, we're live.
How are we doing?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm living the dream.
How was your trip?
It was good.
Can you get a little closer to the microphone?
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah.
We traveled to Effingham in the middle of nowhere, but we made it. We found our way.
Well, welcome to home base.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So I haven't seen you since Liberty Forum. And back then I think you were just introducing the campus carry legislation.
Yeah.
Let's start by saying who you are, where you're from.
Yeah, so obviously Sam Farrington. I'm from the city of Rochester. Our family's been there. I'm 6 generations in Rochester. We have a small family farm, about 100 acres. It's been in our family since 1913. And so that's something that I'm passionate about, really keeping it in the family. And I have deep ties in Rochester.
Is it a working farm still?
You know, it's skipped the past generation. Like my parents or their siblings didn't do anything with it, but I've sort of brought it back. And now I hay it. Yeah, so I hay about 20 acres, and we have a forest that we manage as well.
And you're a state representative?
First term, second year, yes.
What district is it?
It's Strafford District 8, so it's Rochester Ward 4.
Okay.
I beat a Democrat incumbent who was there for a long time.
Yeah, like 10 years?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And so you've been putting in a lot of... You're only, 22 years old?
I'm 22, yeah.
So you're the youngest guy that's been on here.
Okay.
And are you the youngest state rep in the House?
No, there's James. He was elected when he was 18 years old. So he's actually the youngest state legislator in the entire nation.
How are you guys pulling this off?
People like our message. People like the young guys, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you said that your involvement in politics, it was because of... You basically were in high school during COVID.
Yeah, that's how it started, right? I mean, government said that I couldn't play baseball, that I couldn't go to church, that I couldn't go to school. And I really saw tyranny for the first time. And they stripped us of our freedoms. They tried making us get all these vaccines. I never got the jab, never did. But they tried making us get it. And that's as anti-liberty as it gets. And so I saw COVID firsthand. I saw how tyranny looks, and I value freedom and liberty. And of course, we're here in New Hampshire, which year after year ranks as the #1 state for freedom.
Mm-hmm. Now, were you politically charged before COVID?
I mean, always grown up conservative leaning, and I had those values. I was raised with those values, family, traditional, religious values. And it wasn't until COVID that I started to really get involved politically.
Did you ever see yourself running for office?
At a young age, no.
No. And it was so you get out of high school and you must have been, 21 when you ran? So
I was 21 when I ran, yes.
Yeah. And so you go to college?
Yes. I'm a senior at UNH, econ major.
Now, you were telling me before that the tide's somewhat shifting where the colleges don't seem like they're so filled up with liberals.
Yeah, so when I was a freshman on campus, it was very much different than the freshmen that are on campus right now. I think that the freshman class at UNH, at least like the normal people, lean conservative. I mean, we're just talking about this with my buddies before, but the normal dudes and even some of the ladies, like they probably lean conservative. Like they don't want to buy into the whole transgender ideology and the critical race theory. We see that firsthand that it's just nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's been a huge shift. You still have, I call them the Blue Hair Brigade, right? You still have them on campus, but obviously they're a minority of all the people. And I think that normal people that aren't involved in politics or that don't really care, they might lean conservative. And it's sort of my job and, all the activists' job to bring them into the movement so that we can expose our ideas and what our vision is to those people.
The Blue Hair Brigade, wouldn't you say that they've always been a minority? They've just been a vocal one?
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why do you think that that mindset has had such a hold on American culture over the last 10 years?
They've infiltrated every institution, it seems, right? K through 12 schools. We know that those are controlled by, number one, the teacher unions. We can talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
But the teacher unions, they've controlled every sort of higher institution. So UNH and other colleges in New Hampshire, they're dominated by leftists, whether it's the administrators or the professors or even some of the faculty that just work there. It's almost overwhelmingly leftists and liberals that run. And I'll tell you that I do know some conservative professors on campus, and with this campus carry bill that I brought forward, they support the bill, but they're afraid to speak out because they know that their bosses are liberals and that they would not tolerate a different perspective.
How has the fight been getting this campus carry passed?
So we passed it through the House by a wide margin. I think it was only 3 or 4 Republicans that voted against it. And then we actually had a Democrat vote for the bill.
I think one of my state reps voted against it.
Was that
Brian Taylor?
Yeah, he voted against it.
Yeah. Tends to vote with Democrats a lot.
Yeah, there's a couple that are like that, right? But do you know Tammy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she's running for state rep.
Yes.
In your district.
Yes.
So Tammy's awesome. I love Tammy.
Yeah.
And we got it through the House by a wide margin. Got a Democrat, Dale Gerard. Very happy that we got a Democrat to vote for it. And then it's now in the Senate. We just had our Senate hearing in the the Senate Judiciary Committee, and I'm not exactly how it's going to go forward. It's sort of in their hands right now. It's 3 Republicans, 2 Democrats on the committee, so the Republicans control the fate of this bill, and it's Senate Republicans that will decide the future of this bill. You know, they take an oath of office to defend the Constitution. The Second Amendment is included in that Constitution. They have a duty to defend our right to bear arms.
Mm-hmm. Not just federal, but the New Hampshire state constitution itself is even stronger than...
It's even stronger. All persons have the right to keep and bear arms in defense of themselves, their families, their property, and the state. Mm-hmm. I was just emailing with an opponent who, criticized the bill and asked me to withdraw it or whatever. Like, number one, no, I'm not going to withdraw it. Like, we put all this work into it. But he was talking about natural rights and constitutional rights, and he was saying that firearms are not a natural right. Well, I have to explain it more because individuals have a right to life. That is a natural right. By extension, you have a natural right to self-defense because you have the right to protect and defend your life when it is threatened. And so when you have gun-free zones, as I call them, with quotations, because there really is no such thing as a gun-free zone. But in these gun-free zones, individuals are stripped of their right to keep and bear arms, and that strips them of their right to self-defense. Because you cannot defend yourself when you do not have the ability to keep and bear arms. We saw that at Old Dominion University when the cadets inside of that classroom were targeted by a former ISIS member, and they were left defenseless. And school policy banned all firearms, it banned all knives, and a group of students in that classroom actually confronted the shooter and they stabbed him to death.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. And I heard that one of the cadets did an interview, and he said that he was a concealed carry permit holder, and he carried, this is what I heard, in every other location except at school because of their school policy.
The only people that follow gun laws are law-abiding citizens to begin with. The people that are going to go in there and do something bad,
yes,
they're not going to follow the rules.
It'd be a different situation if it was a secured campus. And when I say secured, like the White House, where they have barriers and you can pretty much make 100% guarantee that your safety will be protected. But that's not that's not the case at a college campus. Anybody at UNH can walk into any of the buildings and they can walk into any of the classrooms, and there's nothing stopping somebody from carrying a firearm on campus right now.
So what's the time frame looking like before it comes out of the Senate?
I would expect a Senate vote in the coming week in the committee.
Okay.
So the Judiciary Committee will make a recommendation. They will either recommend to kill it, to pass it, or maybe to pass it with an amendment. They also might amend it to turn it into a study committee, which is effectively killing it.
What does that do?
Just kicks the can down the road and allows them to deflect on the situation.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, it gives them, it's like a cop-out. They can say that, oh, yeah, we're pro 2A, but we just don't want to vote on this, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So we've made it clear there's a lot of groups behind this. The NRA, the New Hampshire Firearm Coalition, Citizens Alliance, there's the Women's Defense League.
GOA.
Gun Owners of America, they're behind it. So there's a huge coalition behind this. We have certain law enforcement that back it as well. Sheriff Bill Wright has spoken about this, former police chief Charlie Reynolds, and we even have Joe Morganella, who's a former UNH police officer that backs this bill.
Nice. I've seen some of the videos of you, I forget what town it was in, but you had a pretty heated discussion with some people that were opposed to it.
Yeah, it's an emotional issue, right? People get upset, they get fired up on both sides, and I've made the case that my message to those who oppose the bill is, I respect your right to disagree. I understand it's emotional. You might not like guns. You might not even feel safe around guns. But just as you have your First Amendment right to disagree with me, I have my Second Amendment right protected in both the U.S. and New Hampshire constitutions to keep and bear arms.
Yeah.
And that is an individual right. The Supreme Court has recognized that multiple times, and it cannot just be taken away because you feel unsafe. Carrying if I decide to keep and bear arms, that does not make somebody in the classroom unsafe. They might feel unsafe, but it does not make them unsafe. In fact, studies actually show that when people decide to carry firearms, it actually leads to safer outcomes.
And this is This is concealed carry too, right? So this allows for concealed carry. Does it allow for open carry?
The bill as written does, because my perspective is that New Hampshire is a constitutional carry state.
Yeah.
We have been since 2017, meaning you do not need a silly permission slip in order to carry a firearm in public. The permission slip is the Constitution, right? Shall not be infringed. It is very clear that individuals have a natural right to keep and bear arms. And so that is the law of the land in New Hampshire. We respect the Second Amendment in New Hampshire. People that cry about this bill and they say blood in the streets and, oh, I don't feel safe. You can move to Massachusetts. You can move to New York or Connecticut if you don't like the bill. But here in New Hampshire, we respect the Second Amendment. And that will be the case as long as I'm around here.
And they made the same arguments when it came to constitutional carry. They did it here. They did it in Maine. Vermont's always been a constitutional carry state as long as I've known.
And do you know what group of people was leading the fight against that, making those arguments?
Who?
Law enforcement.
Oh.
Right? The people that are supposed to protect us, and they take an oath of office to defend the Constitution. We saw the UNH police chief, Stephen Lee. He said in the House testimony hearing, he said that college students are too drunk to carry firearms.
Now,
Did you know what happened to him 2 weeks later?
Oh, is he the one that got it? No.
He was busted for DUI. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and then the other thing too is like most college kids are under 21, right? So
yes,
and that's one thing I've heard is that college kids are all drunk. Is there something wrong with the culture if that's what kids are going to college for?
I would say so. Yeah.
Right. I mean, they're there to learn, right?
You would think so.
So what's going on where they have where alcohol is so easily accessible to them? I mean, I've been 21. I've been 20. I think we all understand, but they have been saying that alcohol has been going downhill with the younger people. But still, like for that to be the argument, it's a silly argument in my opinion.
It's foolish. They come up with all these arguments. They say that college students are too drunk. My favorite one is that their prefrontal cortex is not developed until age 27.
Yeah.
And so they can't be trusted with firearms.
But they can vote.
They can vote. They can fight in a war. They can do all these other things. And so the Democrats opposing the bill that make that argument, do you want to take away their right to vote?
Right.
Be consistent.
Right, exactly. There's no consistency here.
No. And then they talk about New Hampshire turning into a Wild West shootout where there's going to be these shootings and the good guys, there'd be 20 of them in a classroom and they all take out their guns and they start shooting at each other And then the police come and they don't know who the good guy is and they don't know who the bad guy is and they can't distinguish the two.
These are people that don't even shoot guns or carry guns.
What I tell them, point me to one example of that happening.
Yeah.
There was one time in Colorado that a good private armed citizen with a firearm was mistaken by police. It's happened one time that I can find.
Mm-hmm.
So point to another example.
So you've been digging for these.
Oh, yeah. John Lott is the president of the Crime Prevention Research Center, and he does a lot of research into gun control. And I mean, some of the studies that I'll give some stats. 92% of mass shootings happen in these so-called gun-free zones.
Yep.
The shooter is not deterred. It only punishes the good guy. We know that in active shooter situations, 36% of all active shooter situations are stopped by an individual with a firearm, a good guy. I'd point to 2022 in an Indiana mall where a 22-year-old stopped a mass shooting from occurring. Elijah Dickens. He shot it and he stopped the mass shooting.
Mm-hmm.
So he was 22. Is that too young? Do you have to be 25? Do you have to be 27?
Well, I think there was a law in Georgia that was passed in the 80s. I don't know if you know about this, but they made it mandatory for every house to have a firearm in the home.
Okay, I did not know about that.
I'll have to look this up. Hold on. Okay, so in 1982, Kennesaw, Georgia passed ordinance number 1982-4 requiring head of households to maintain a firearm and ammunition.
Wow.
Passed as a political statement against a handgun ban in Morton Grove, Illinois.
Okay.
The law includes exemptions for those with religious, physical, or mental constraints and has never been enforced, acting as a symbolic.
I don't think they would enforce that.
But after they passed that, home invasions went down by like 90%.
I bet so. I bet so.
So, I mean, yeah. I used to bring these stats up with liberals that I'd argue with like 15, 20 years ago, and they would, as soon as you start showing them numbers, they don't even want to argue. They don't care because it's ideological.
They cannot think outside of the framework that they have been brainwashed into. Yes, they can't think about any sort of reality, and they're presented with data. They're presented with logic, facts, Constitution, and for them, it's all about feelings and emotions and hypotheticals. You know, we have data from 11 different states in the country right now that have campus carry, and not a single drunk student has shot their firearm at somebody. Not a single suicide has occurred by a permit holder in any of those states, and it's just an unfounded argument, every single one of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
11 states already have that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Which ones are they?
I mean, there's a few. There's Utah, there's Texas, Georgia, I believe, West Virginia, different states all across the country.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the governor will sign it?
So she's been asked about this a couple times. Adam Sexton asked her on WMUR, this might have been 2 months ago, and she said that she was reviewing the language of the bill. Last week, I think the day after the hearing, she was asked by In Depth New Hampshire, they published it, and she said she had not reviewed the language yet. So something doesn't align there. But she did say that safety was paramount. And so we do have law enforcement backing this bill, although a lot of them oppose the bill. I know the law enforcement community is important to her, and we should care about their opinions and their perspectives. But at the end of the day, people who carry firearms are responsible people. We know this. There's data that shows that young people are actually, ages 18 to 21, permit holders. John Lott did a study, I think it was Nevada, Michigan, and maybe another state. And he found that those young permit holders were actually either as responsible or even more responsible than older permit holders in those states.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
We just saw in Kentucky that they passed a bill into law that expands constitutional carry for 18 to 21-year-olds, because right now the law was over 21, which of course is just nonsense. Like how is somebody that is 20-year-old different than 21 years old?
Well, because federal law is that you can't buy a handgun until you're 21, right?
From an FFL, but you can do a private deal or you can be gifted a handgun at age 18.
So possession of a firearm under 21 is permitted.
In New Hampshire, yeah.
No kidding.
You can be 18 and possess a handgun. Yeah.
A handgun.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, other states don't do that. I mean, they want to crack down on it, so they have a law for every single thing you can think of, but not in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire's the best state.
We really are. Number one for freedom every single year. And actually, there was a report done by one of the gun groups like 2 weeks ago, and it said New Hampshire was tied for being the first state, the number one best state for firearms. We're tied with Kansas, which, I mean, I take offense to that. We should be number one, like, alone.
Yeah.
You know, we have constitutional carry. We don't have any of these magazine limits. We don't have any sort of excessive permit restrictions or none of that. We basically don't have any rules relating to firearms, and that's how it should be. You don't need a rule, because people who decide to do this are responsible people.
The scariest thing about it, though, is that Maine was just like New Hampshire about 10 years ago, and they're not like that anymore. They don't. I don't think they have magazine limits yet, but they're gonna.
They're cracking down.
They have the red flag laws now, and they have I think a 5-day waiting period.
Yeah, they cracked down on it. Yeah.
That started with basically the 2018 election. Let's say they went from passing constitutional carry to now they have all this other stuff.
Tell me how gun control has ever helped.
Well, they get these tragedies that happen, like that mass shooting in Maine a few years ago, and that's the one that they're using
In Lewiston?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they're using to promote all the new gun control measures. And then another shooting happens, and then they just pass more.
Is the criminal going to listen to those laws?
They never do.
No, because they're going to murder some. They don't care about homicide laws. They're not going to care about firearm laws.
Mm-hmm. Look at Massachusetts. I mean, Massachusetts is supposedly one of the safest states with guns. Like, if you look at the stats, like at the top, like 5, somehow Massachusetts ends up in the top 5 or 10. I don't understand how. I mean,
demographic data. I mean, you got to account for other factors, income, race. There's other important factors as well.
Okay. So, but they have such a high crime rate down there.
In Boston?
Yeah.
I mean, Boston's a city, so they got a lot of slums in Boston, but I know what you mean.
Well, I don't want to live in an area like that. Like, that's why I
don't want to live outside of New Hampshire.
No, I don't.
This is our heaven. This is our place. We're going to keep it this way as long as Republicans are in control.
How do you think that's going?
We were here in New Hampshire. We are doing what we were elected to do in 2026. 2024. Lowering taxes, expanding freedom, cutting spending, protecting liberty in New Hampshire. We have stuck to our promise. And I know a lot of people are upset on the federal level right now with the administration or different things that are happening. But that's mostly because, President Trump ran on an agenda of peace, of cutting spending, of America first. And there's a lot of people that were a part of his base that are leaving now. Mm-hmm. Tucker, some other people. But here in New Hampshire, we have stuck to what we have said. We just had the income tax hearing. Did you see that from 2 weeks ago?
We were trying to make it a constitutional amendment in New Hampshire.
So we want to permanently ban an income tax.
Yeah.
Obviously, right now, we don't have an income tax. But that doesn't mean that a future legislature controlled by the Democrats wouldn't impose one.
No, was that just a hearing?
That was a hearing. We're going to have a vote on it soon.
You are?
Yes.
How do you think it'll go?
Well, it's funny because, the Democrats say that they oppose an income tax right now. They know they have to say that because they'd be crucified in the elections if the vote, right? And so we're going to give them a chance to permanently ban income tax. If you really oppose an income tax, you would vote to permanently ban one because there would be no need to ever have it in the future. So we're going to give them a chance to vote for that. See where we'll see if they put their money where their mouth is at.
Man, I wonder what they'll do. What do you think they'll do?
So we have 220 roughly to 180 Democrats. Everybody doesn't show up every day. But in order to get this constitutional amendment, you need a supermajority. And so I don't think, maybe there'd be like 5 Democrats that vote for it, but I don't think we'll get enough.
So 2/3 need to vote for it.
Yeah, I don't think, the Democrat leadership says that they oppose an income tax, but they have not supported this amendment. And they didn't show up to the hearing. And I think a few of, like Dave Luno, ranking member on education, you had Karen Lott Hill, who's the executive counselor, she likes to call herself the highest ranking Democrat in the state. They actually came out and supported an income tax. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I don't know. Why do we got to pay more money? Like, you know, what is the argument for an income tax? I know in some states they'll try and say like Maine, for example, like they have a 5.5% income tax, or
they just raised it by 2%.
Ugh.
Yeah, Laura Libby was talking about that, and she's basically telling everybody, go to New Hampshire, and right across the border.
Well, they're saying it'll lower your property tax, but
they said that in Connecticut. Look what happened. Both rows.
Yeah.
They also say it's going to be a temporary tax.
There's no such thing.
There's no such thing as a temporary tax or a temporary government program. It fuels the beast, and it kicks the can down the road. It grows government. It grows government spending, and the cycle just continues to build on itself.
Yeah. Do you think that the average voter is in tune with this? What's going on?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a simple question. We are giving this constitutional if it were to pass, it would be on the ballot in 2026.
The only people I see talking about it, though, are Republicans.
Yeah. The voters would get to decide on their ballot, and if they see a question that says, do you want to permanently ban an income tax in New Hampshire? Something like 80% of them are going to probably check yes.
I don't know. Massachusetts voted themselves a new tax years ago. They had it on a ballot.
On the ballot?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're in New Hampshire, though, and I think Granite Staters are smart.
Wait, I thought we didn't have ballot initiatives in New Hampshire.
We don't, but this would be a constitutional amendment which goes on the ballot.
Really?
Yeah. Technically, we can have a ballot measure, but it's much harder than other states. Much, much harder.
Yeah, well, ballot initiatives is how you get gun control.
Yeah, yeah. Take a look at California, right?
Maine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's easy to sway a large group of people, which is why a republic form of government is the best, in my opinion.
I mean, the Democrats say we have to save democracy and protect democracy. We do not have a democracy. It's a constitutional republic.
Right.
They're talking about campus carry, and they're saying that 85% of UNH students oppose the bill. Okay, I don't think that's true, but say you say that is true. What about the 15%? Their rights matter.
Right.
Right. And the reason I say I don't believe that number, they had like 2,000 or 3,000 of the 11,000 students answer the surveys. You have 8,000 that didn't respond. To me, that says 8,000 don't even care about the issue, right? So the majority of people on campus don't even care about the issue.
Yeah, because if they really did care, they would
answer. So what you get of the people that do answer the survey, they're on the extremes. So you have all the liberals who hate the bill and that they're afraid of guns, and then you'll have the base dudes who love liberty and freedom and they're gun guys and they want the guns. So I think you're missing an important demographic.
So being so young and getting into the legislature, what has that been like?
It's been the time of my life. I really enjoy it. I think that here in New Hampshire, we have it pretty special because it's a very representative form of government. Think about it, 400 state reps for 1.4 million people. I represent about 4,000 people. It seems like I know most of my constituents, which is pretty cool. And for me, it's about the number one duty that I have is protecting their constitutional rights. That's what I was elected to do. That's what I swore to do. And for me, when I go there every single Thursday and when I go to session to vote, it's about protecting their constitutional rights. And I think that a lot of the time, representatives forget that's why they're there. Of course, it's about public service and serving their interests, but it's about protecting their natural rights because that's why government was instituted. If you look at the readings of our founding fathers, government was instituted to protect life, liberty, property, our natural rights, because rights are not given by government, they're given by God. Government serves to protect those rights.
Do you think that they forget that's why they're there, or do you think that they never really intended on protecting constitutional rights to begin with?
That's a good point. I think you're right. I think a lot of the people don't even care what they're taking an oath to defend. They just have the Second Amendment, it's right there. all persons have the right to keep and bear arms in defense of themselves. And when you vote against the Second Amendment, you don't even care.
Have you made any endorsements in the federal elections coming up?
Yes, we have a Senate race, and then we have 2 CD1 races. And I will say that I really enjoy all of the Republicans running in each of the races. Senate, you have Scott Brown and John Sununu. I've endorsed John, but I think they're both good. They're both good Republicans. I think John makes a really good candidate in November to go against Pappas the puppet, as I call him, right? Because he just does whatever leadership tells him. And then in CD2, you have Lily Tang Williams. I've endorsed her. She's got a great story coming from China, escaping communism, and she's fighting to protect liberty here in New Hampshire and in our country. She wants us to, she doesn't want us to go on the track that communist China did, and she's doing everything that she can to prevent that from happening. And Lily's got the energy. She's got the spirit. She's the best fundraiser, right? If you saw the report in all of the races. But then there's Victor Orlando as well. And I met him 2 or 3 weeks ago for the first time. And I think he's a really good guy.
Yeah.
He's a father. He's a husband. And if you were to ask him, I don't know if you've had him on the show yet.
Yeah.
But if you were to ask him, like, what's the most important thing to him, I bet he would say his family, which that's important. Spent the day with him at the Pine Tree Riot and his kids, and the kids are definitely important to him. So that's pretty cool. And then on CD1 side, you have 4 or 5 candidates. You've got Holly Novoletsky. I've endorsed her. I've known her for a long time. She's one of the most helpful people, and she's done a ton of work for us on the campus, for conservatives on campus. So I love Holly. She's awesome. Then you have Brian Cole. He's also in the State House. Again, another really good candidate. He's a really good vote in Concord. He's in Manchester, so he has that going for him. And again,
he was the chair of the Manchester GOP too. Before.
Yeah, he was, and did a lot of work to win those elections
Yep.
in Manchester. And then you have Melissa Bailey in Bedford running for CD1. She's a mom. I think she homeschooled her kids at some point, left her successful finance career in banking to go do that. And again, family's really important to her, and her faith is really important to her. So she's a really good candidate as well. And then you have Anthony DiLorenzo, who lived the American dream, right? He built his business, and he seems to be a good candidate as well. So across the Senate, CD1, CD2, you've got really good candidates all around, and I think they're all excellent candidates.
What do you think of the other side of the aisle?
So you got Chris Pappas the puppet. He's the front runner for Senate. He's going to take it home. That's going to be our number one fight, that Senate race, because John Sununu at the top of the ticket, he helps everybody down ballot.
And it seems like it's like he's going from just I'm a congressman, well now I get to be a senator because it's open now, like this natural progression for
Pappas.
For Pappas, yeah.
Yeah, if he gets in there, he's going to be there for 30 years,
yeah,
right? I don't want that.
No. We want some variety here.
Yeah, it's the same old brand of do whatever I want to do. It's the Democrats who just listen to their leadership.
Yeah.
And having John Sununu at the top of the ticket, it's going to help people like me, other state reps, lower on the ballot, because Sununu can win.
Mm-hmm.
He has the name ID. He has the record in Congress of being a true conservative. And then you have the CD1 race. You have Shaheen's daughter,
yeah,
who's trying to carry on the dynasty. You have
again, it's almost like it's like I'm a Republican, so I don't like try to hide that when I do this show.
Uh-huh.
I am a committee member for my county.
Yep.
I go to the Republican state.
You're always recording everything.
Yeah. So like I'm not like, I don't try to hide my bias on here. So, but when I see what's going on the Democrat side, it's just like they're just moving, okay, Shaheen's leaving the Senate. Now we'll take the congressman, we'll put him in the Senate. And then, we'll get another Shaheen to put in the Congress. And then by the time Pappas is done in the Senate, is it just going to be Shaheen moving again? Like,
yeah.
New Hampshire, I mean, we're a pretty red state, in my opinion. But for some reason, we have no representation as far as for Republicans in New Hampshire.
Well, there's a few reasons to that. People talk about the college students voting in our elections. I think it might have an effect, but I don't think it's a major effect. Fortunately, we just passed the bill which doesn't accept student IDs anymore as a form of voter ID. So you need to have a government-issued ID.
Yeah.
I think that's a good bill because, I mean, UNH is handing out these IDs to foreigners.
Oh, really?
Who are not, foreign exchange, yeah. Yeah, they get those IDs and they can go vote with their student IDs.
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't know how much it happens. I don't know if there's data that, proves that to a large scale, but it's still a good step in the right direction that we took with this. So you still can technically have Massachusetts students voting in our elections. They have to declare their dorm as a domicile, and they need a government ID to do that.
And it keeps them from voting in Massachusetts, too.
Right.
So not
it's supposed to, right?
Right.
One place, one ballot, yeah.
But you don't want people from Massachusetts just voting here.
No.
And that, there's a lot of people from out of state that have a second homes in Massachusetts that are always complaining that they can't vote in local elections up here because they pay taxes up here, but this isn't their domicile.
Right.
But, well, you have to change your residency if you want to vote up here. That's just the way it is.
And you should change it because your vote in New Hampshire weighs a lot more than it does in Massachusetts or Marksatusetts or Taxachusetts or whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just I think that they say that Republicans don't show up as much as they do in the midterms. But New Hampshire's got such a good thing going, like there was a real good energy that came out of the 2024 election on the federal level, on the state level, and on the federal level, it seems like it's kind of fizzling out.
People
a
are talking
bit.
about having headwinds or whatever, but I think New Hampshire is different because remember, in 2020, in that election, New Hampshire was the only state in the entire country to flip its legislature from Democrat to Republican. So we have bucked the trend before. I think we can do it again, even if we do see some tough losses in this upcoming election across the country. The other thing that we have going for us is Turning Point Action has announced that they're in New Hampshire.
Yep.
This is their third state, so they're in Arizona, Nevada, and now New Hampshire. They're building the red wall, as Erica Kirk has said, and I think Turning Point's hiring more than 100 different ballot chasers across New Hampshire to talk with Republicans, and they're targeting disengaged Republicans that don't vote in midterm elections.
Yeah.
So the fact that we have Turning Point, which is one of the most well-known and well-respected conservative organizations in the entire country, establishing New Hampshire as a key battleground state, saying we want to invest resources in this state. I mean, for me, that pumps me up.
Yeah.
Right? Because we have a chance to win. We have these, it's an outside group, but it's New Hampshire people rallying around us and sort of carrying us across the finish line.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to 2026 for sure.
Well, a lot of the people do you know what the percentage of people in New Hampshire are actually from out of state? It's like a big number.
That vote?
That have moved here, that are living here.
Is it like half?
It's a good amount.
Maybe 50%?
So it's not all just Republicans, because the big thing right now that they're using is they're calling every Republican a free stater.
They've called me that before, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you're born in New Hampshire.
Yeah, Rochester, New Hampshire. The guy that I beat that knows my family, he's calling me a free stater.
Is
right? He? Define free stater for me.
Right.
I would say that a free stater, according to the Free State Project, is somebody libertarian-leaning that moves to New Hampshire in order to have a liberty-centered government and live in a society where freedom is maximalized.
That sounds horrific.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare, right? But if you ask a Democrat what a free stater is, and I've done that,
What do they say?
Well, they have, I forget which group. It's one of the leftist progressive groups. And the Progs show up in Concord with their signs saying, "We hate free staters," and they're destroying New Hampshire. And I asked them, it was one day, maybe 2 weeks ago on session, I asked 4 or 5 of them, I said, "Can you tell me what a free stater is?" And 4 of them, I asked 5, 4 of them said, "Oh, I don't know."
They just gave me a sign.
They paid me $100 to come hold a sign. No, they didn't say that. But then I asked one of them, what a free stater was, and the lady said, "I'm talking to one right now." So yeah, I mean, basically, a free stater is anybody that doesn't agree with a leftist.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's from a leftist point of view. A free stater is somebody that disagrees with them. That values libertarian or conservative ideology.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you want to block yourself off in your own world and sort of go after us, move to Massachusetts, do you not want a free state? Like,
yeah, I like what Eric Brakey does say. He's like, well, it's better than a slave state.
Oh, yeah, I haven't heard him say that, but that's, yeah.
That's got a nice ring to it, I'd say.
Yeah. Like, what's the problem with a free state? What's the problem with being a free stater?
Well, these people are afraid of freedom.
Why?
I don't know. That's why they don't like your campus carry bill. It's why they don't like constitutional carry. That's why they don't want people to keep all their income. It's why they don't want people to be able to say whatever they want. It's like the whole like one of the biggest arguments I think around the like the transgender issue. Like, I don't care if somebody wants to be transgender, but you can't force me to use their pronouns.
Yes.
That's freedom of speech.
Yes.
Like, sorry, it's just not going to happen. If you look like a woman and you sound like a woman and you passed yourself off as a woman, good for you. You did it. But if you don't look like a woman, like, I'm not going to pretend you are.
Mm-hmm.
But they want to make it just like it is in Canada or in UK, where you can go to jail for misgendering people. They tried it in Colorado and it didn't pass.
Is that right?
Yeah, they tried to make it illegal to misgender people on purpose.
That's ridiculous. It's crazy.
So, sorry, it's just not American.
No, I mean, free speech, First Amendment, it's right there. The fact that I think it's cringe that these people want to give away their rights to the government. Like, maybe you don't like guns, but do you really want to give away your rights to have firearms? They're going after the Trump administration, and they're calling Trump corrupt, and they're calling him a dictator and a tyrant. If we really had a dictator, wouldn't you want to have the ability to defend yourself from a dictator?
Yeah, this is mental gymnastics.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and they have to basically tell themselves, like, you have to vote for this group that will take care of all your problems. That government's a solution to problems. It's like the cost of living.
Yeah.
How do we deal with the cost of living?
Oh, let's use taxpayer dollars to subsidize things.
Right, exactly. Let's do more of that. How about we stop spending as much?
Yeah. Because
it's our debt. It's the printing of money that's increased the cost of living over the years.
I mean, on the federal issue, that's probably my number one issue is the national debt. $39 trillion now.
Yeah. I remember when it was 4. And I got a book in like 2008, 2009, and I think it was called Outtaxed or something like that. And it was written in the late 70s. It was when Jimmy Carter was president. And they had like I think the debt was 400 or 500 trillion. No.
Billion?
Yeah, 400 or 500 billion.
Yeah.
And in the book, the guy's like freaking out about it.
Well, it's funny because I go on YouTube and I watch Milton Friedman videos, and he's talking about the debt being in the billions, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, this is going to be the end of the world. Government spending's the problem, not necessarily the debt." And now here we are, spending $7 trillion a year.
I think the problem is the interest.
Yeah,
because a fifth of
it's like
our
$1 trillion in interest payments.
It's a fifth of our budget.
Yeah,
and it's almost exceeding. I think it's almost as much as our defense budget. So,
which is too high as well. We spend too much money on defense, and sometimes conservatives can't really point to where, they'll be like, "Oh, cut foreign aid." Well, if you cut all foreign aid, maybe you're spending a fraction of a % of the whole budget.
Well, it's these establishment parties. Like the Democrats will never cut welfare. The Republicans will never cut military.
Defense, yes.
And we'll always just be spending trillions and trillions of dollars. Like, yes. Even like the entitlements that we have and Social Security and all that. Like, if you add up what they're promising people, it's for future generations, we're in the hundreds of trillions of dollars.
I'm gonna have to pay more into it than what I'm gonna get back, right?
Probably.
Yeah, it's not fair.
Yeah, and that's the tough thing, because like the boomer generation doesn't want to let that one go. Like I think younger people should have the option to opt out of it.
And I think that at the same time, if you make a promise to somebody, that you have to deliver on that promise. So
Yeah.
we shouldn't cut benefits for those that have been promised, but there needs to be a way where people like me can invest in their own accounts
Yeah.
and decide that they do not want to trust the government for a retirement pension.
Because the government doesn't manage our money properly.
No.
They don't manage the budget that they get.
They don't manage anything properly. Markets work.
So if you were to take, like starting out right now and you were to invest whatever it is that they're taking out of Social Security, like I've seen the numbers, like you would be all set by the time you're 60.
Yeah.
But if you give it to Social Security, they're going to give you, like you said, you're not going to get as much in as you're not going to get as much back as you're paying in. But let's say like you die at like 70. You're 67, you get Social Security for 3 years, and then what happens? If you're not married, that money just disappears.
The government can spend money, they can borrow money, they can print money without restriction.
Mm-hmm.
They can do whatever they want, and our financial system, it's coming to the point where it's going to break.
People have been saying that forever. It's all. I think it depends on how strong a military is, how strong.
Yeah, that's a good point too. It's also dependent upon how other countries view us and trust us, right? And our financial system.
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously we have the emergence of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin right now, which, as it was intended, back in 2012, 2013, it was based off of the idea that government should not be controlling money and the money supply, right? Mm-hmm. Money should have real value.
That's what the Constitution says, that the government should be the only ones printing and coining money. Right now, the government doesn't. They can borrow money, but we're not printing it. It's the Federal Reserve printing it.
Yes.
They're lending it to us at interest.
Yes.
So that's the biggest issue. We'll never be able to pay it back because we'll always owe more than what we actually borrowed. So what's in existence, like, okay, if you borrow $1 from me and I say, okay, you gotta give me $1.30 back, but I'm the only one issuing the dollars. Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
Doesn't.
Yeah.
You're a slave. You're in debt.
Yeah.
And
you're a slave. Future
generations are just going to be screwed out of it. Like, I mean, how much 22-year-old, okay, 22-year-olds used to start families and have a lot of kids, and we don't have that anymore.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a real problem, and our future is at risk.
Do you think it's creating a lot of like nihilism among young people that are worried?
Financial?
Yeah.
Yeah, because, they don't see any way out of it, maybe. And so then they just turn to like a dark hole or whatever. But
or stop trying.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think a lot of it's like groupthink, where you're told things are so bad that that's all you are around and that's all you hear. So then things have to be that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Then you tell yourself it's that bad. When in reality, if you want to grind, if you want to work, the American dream still is possible. It might not be as much of attainable as it was, for my grandfather's or great-grandfather's generation, but it's still out there. And if you bust your balls, if you grind, you still can make it. That's what I believe. I want to live the American dream.
I think it's possible, but I think it's harder for younger people to do it like it used to be.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I mean, the house is about 10 times the median income right now.
Mm-hmm.
I asked DiLorenzo, I said, if you took your $7,000 you started your business with and you adjusted that for inflation, could you do today what you did? He said no. Too much regulation.
Inflation is a hidden tax.
Absolutely. Yeah. Man. So what are some of the other legislation you've been working on?
The campus carry is the biggest one that's getting the most attention, but obviously we passed the car inspection repeal on the mandates for car inspections. That was probably the biggest win for the normal guy, for the common man in New Hampshire that maybe is apolitical, doesn't lean Republican or Democrat, because people are being taken advantage of by their inspectors. And I know there's a huge sort of confusion after the fact with the Attorney General and its lawsuits and the company trying to get their money. But that's one of the biggest ones, one of the biggest wins that Granite Stayers have had.
Yeah,
the car inspection repeal.
I think that New Hampshire politics, we're in a good spot.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. Like I said, federal people, much.
DC's a mess.
DC's always been a mess, though.
It's a swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Donald Trump is one guy, and
he's got to be gone at some point.
Yeah.
You got to look to what's after that. So,
yeah.
For me, it's America first. That's where we're at. America first. Some say American only. You got to solve our problems before you try to solve the problems of the rest of the world.
Who are some of the politicians that influenced you?
So I'll say modern day, and then I'll say some former ones. But Thomas Massey's my guy. I think you like him as well.
Yeah.
But, really doing what he was elected to do. He keeps his promise. He's the most consistent member of Congress. And whether it's on guns, on life, on education freedom, on cutting spending, on foreign policy and keeping peace in the world, he sticks to what he says. So I really look up to Thomas Massey. And then some of I like Jefferson, like Madison and the founders, but New Hampshire, Josiah Bartlett, who was a signer of the Declaration of Independence, he, is an inspiration, and sort of the New Hampshire people that came before us. And again, in New Hampshire, we are celebrating our 250th anniversary of our state constitution this year. And we were the very first state to adopt its state constitution. Were you at the Pine Tree Riot party?
No, I wasn't.
Because you had the luncheon.
Lincoln Day luncheon.
That's right.
With Johnson Nunu. But
the Pine Tree Riot occurred in 1772, and that's when the American Revolution was born. It was not at the Boston Tea Party or the Boston Massacre. The American Revolution started in New Hampshire, in Ware, New Hampshire, when Granite Staters rebelled against the British king for imposing a mandate that all pine trees over 24 and then eventually 12 inches belonged to the crown for the purpose of creating masts for their Royal Navy. And Granite Staters said, nope, we're not going to comply. And Ebenezer Mudgett was arrested, and some of the colonists in the area broke into the sheriff's hotel room at the inn. They took the sheriff, they tied him to the horse, they cut off the horse's ears, and they rode him out of town. And they sent a message. And that, as far as I'm concerned, that's when Live Free or Die was born.
Yeah.
And now we still hold on to it as well.
It's a fight to hold on to it, though. So people need to be involved. Are you seeing more participation in your neck of the woods?
In terms of politics?
Yeah.
Yeah, people care. Property taxes are burning people, and then the housing supply, especially young people, but the older people care about the young people, so they have the same issues, I've realized. And they do care. Yeah, they do care for sure.
Yeah. You plan on running again?
I will be running again, yes.
You gonna keep running? Like how? What are you going to college for? Like, what do you plan on?
Economics.
Economics.
Yeah. Yes.
So what do you want to do as a profession?
I want to go into real estate.
Real estate.
Yeah, so investing in real estate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you must be buddies with Calvin then.
Oh, yeah. He's awesome. He's awesome. I love Calvin.
Yeah.
He's a good rep.
He could talk about real estate all day.
100%. Yeah, Calvin's a good dude.
Yeah. Are you on any committees?
I'm on the finance committee.
Finance.
Yeah.
Okay.
The budget will be coming up next year, and that's a big time commitment on the budget. I wasn't on finance in year 1, so I didn't deal with the budget. Now I'm on finance in year 2, so I'm looking forward to next year.
What do you think that'll entail? Like, what do you...
I just want to cut spending, right? It's hard, but that's my number one goal is to cut government spending.
Yeah. How do you think it'll do?
We'll see. I mean, the budget right now, I think, is $15.5 billion for 2 years. It's a lot of money. It's a ton of money. $15.5 billion. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some fraud going around. New Hampshire's better than most states, but it's mostly like spending on these unnecessary services that we just don't need.
Like what?
Funding for family planning, right? Giving condoms to families. I mean, for free, we spend like $1 million or $2 million on that. We don't spend state dollars on it, but we participate in the federal refugee resettlement thing in New Hampshire. We tried passing a bill to repeal that.
Mm-hmm.
The Senate killed it for whatever reason.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Man.
I don't know, but yeah. So
I honestly haven't been paying attention to a lot of news over the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But like as far as like national news, it seems like every other day either we're at war or we're not at war, and it's hard to keep track. I guess we're on a deadline by this Wednesday for the ceasefire.
Yeah.
But then on state politics, I've just been too busy working, and like I saw you at that debate on what, a week ago,
Mm-hmm.
and other than that, I haven't really like been super into what's been going on.
We got to live our lives as well, right?
Yeah.
We got stuff besides politics is important, but there's other stuff, family, sports.
Well, I get my most of my info from just having people come sit down and asking them questions.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I would say, yeah.
I get all my news from X, Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that seems to be where you get it first,
Yeah.
Um,
Because then again, the news, like the mainstream media, doesn't cover everything.
no,
They have their own agendas. So that X has completely transformed the media coverage.
Yeah.
Complete game changer.
Yep. So do you have a website people can reach you at, or like how do people get a hold of you?
I'll give my phone number for the viewers. It's 603-948-6240. I love to talk to people. I'm an open book, transparent, try to be out there. I'll answer any questions, but I love to talk to people, and I like to solve issues and tackle problems, protect liberty, defend freedom, and we got to keep New Hampshire as the single greatest state to live in.
You have a website?
SamuelFarrington.com.
And do you take donations on that website?
I do, yes.
You do?
You can find my link on that, yes.
All right. And you're on X as well?
I am.
All right.
X is probably the best way to stay in touch. I'm very active on X. I love the platform.
Sam, I know you got to get going. I want to thank you for stopping by.
Appreciate it. It was a really fun time. You're doing great work.
Thank you.
Keep it up.
All right. Everybody, check out the Grant Discourse on Patreon, and check out the Buy Me a Coffee account. And Sam, thanks again.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.